Latest business news now with Stephen Carroll. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Catherine.
We're going to start off with the cabinet reshuffle in France, which has seen some pretty big changes at the finance ministry.
Yeah, before this reshuffle, there were 7 ministers at the finance ministry in Paris. Now there are only 2. Michel Sapin has taken over as finance minister, while the sometimes controversial Arnaud Montebourg has been promoted. He remains the minister for industrial renewal, his old job, but adds the economy and digital development to his portfolio. Now, as the minister charged with saving France's struggling industry, he's clashed with big business in the past, including on one occasion threatening to nationalise a steelworks to prevent its closure. Now, he's seen as a staunch defender of protectionist policies, so could a more powerful Arnaud Montebourg scare away investors from France? That's what we asked Antonio Barroso from the consulting firm Teneo Intelligence.
I think it's a little bit surprising for investors given the well-known stance of Montebourg, negative stance, I would say, towards foreign companies and his criticism towards Brussels. I still think it's not going to be an issue. I think from the point of view of coordination, obviously the cacophony between the finance minister, Michel Sapin, the new finance minister, and Montebourg could be a problem. But at the end of the day, I think that Manuel Valls is going to be the one calling the shots. And that will probably fix the coordination issues between the 2 new finance minister and economy minister.
Antonio Barroso speaking to us from London yesterday. To Frankfurt next, where officials of the European Central Bank will have some tough decisions to make later. One specific warning for them came from the International Monetary Fund on Wednesday. Christine Lagarde called on the ECB to take action to stop the spectre of falling prices, or deflation, as it's known. She wants Mario Draghi to begin pumping money into the Eurozone in the same way the Federal Reserve is doing in the United States. But will her call fall on deaf ears? Delano de Souza has more.
It's been criticised for not doing enough in jump-starting the Eurozone's economy. The ECB has so far resisted pressure to slash its key interest rates to zero. Unlike the US Federal Reserve, the bank has no bond-buying program. With the risk of deflation looming, the pressure is on for the bank to do more. So far, it's resisted.
The prospect for inflation is cause of concern, of course, because it seems to indicate that Europe can be, and in particular the euro area, in a protracted period of low inflation. It's important to also underline that we see no deflation prospects.
But as the ECB tones down the risk of deflation, data released on Monday shows inflation in the Eurozone for March reached a 4-year low at 0.5%, well below the bank's target of 2%. While low prices may excite customers, the prospects of prices dropping further could keep them off spending and delay a recovery further. The International Monetary Fund says more needs to be done for Europe to get out of its funk.
If the policies are the same, no variation, no change, no innovation, no breakthrough, we will be in that sort of low, medium-term growth, which could turn into a trap, as I've mentioned.
Analysts are hoping Thursday's meeting will fire up a debate on what more the bank could be doing. They'll be looking to ECB chief Mario Draghi for answers.
Well, we're going to take you to China next, where the government there is stepping in again to prop up the economy.
Yeah, we had been expecting this for some time, but with the Chinese government had been kind of making signals they try to stop intervening in the economy, but they have decided to do so. The Chinese government raised another almost $25 billion in bonds on the bond markets. Rather, it's going to use that money to increase its spending on railways, increasing the budget by 18%. In fact, to speed up the construction of railways around China. It also unveiled a series of tax breaks for small businesses. All this aimed at stimulating growth and ensuring that the Chinese economy continues to grow at the target rate of around 7.5%. That's the figure set by the Chinese government.
OK, is that news affecting the markets over in Asia at all?
It has slightly. I'm going to start first, though, on Wall Street, where the S&P 500 hit another record high on Tuesday after a report showing better than expected job growth in the private sector. That's adding to the general confidence we've seen in recent days that things are improving in the United States. That lead is really what's influencing things on the Asian markets today. That good news from Wall Street pushing most of the indices into the green. The Nikkei up over 1% as the value of the yen continues to fall. Investors in Shanghai not terribly impressed by that news from the Chinese government, perhaps because they had been expecting it. They're the only major Asian index trading in the red today, down just over 0.1%.
Okay, now finally, the American sanctions on Russian businessmen could have a knock-on effect, you won't believe this, on music fans in Finland. Stephen, do tell us why.
Well, you remember when this what was called the second phase of sanctions, when they targeted 27 individual Russian businessmen and officials with sanctions from the United States, measures like asset freezes and travel bans. One of them is a man called Gennady Timchenko, who owns 50% of the Heart Wall Arena in Helsinki. And this is where things get a little bit strange. The US promoter Live Nation has booked 2 concerts in the arena, one by Miley Cyrus, so you can see there, and one by Justin Timberlake. And the Financial Times says that if the wording of the sanctions is followed to the letter, if Live Nation has any money left to pay for that arena, they're actually barred from doing so because of the sanctions from the United States, which could, in fact, mean those concerts being cancelled. Legal experts say it depends on whether or not they have money left to pay on that, whether or not it's going to affect the concerts. No official decision or no reaction from Live Nation for the moment to see what might happen, but a bit of a wrecking ball for Miley Cyrus fans.
Absolutely, no compassion there from the Americans that came up with those sanctions for music fans. Thanks very much, Stephen Carroll, with the latest business news, back in around an hour's time. It's time now for us to take a look at web news, including a cunning use of technology to find the best spot for a nap. But first, Turkish web users are responding with derision after the energy minister blamed an election-night power cut on a cat.